I agree with it because I've seen it work, right? I've seen it work. The thing is, it's like not everybody might not know how to do that, right? Because that's one thing our firm does. Like, and that's why I'm interested to talk to you more about it because
is good. What is good, everybody? Is welcome to another episode of Entrepreneurship Xposed, hosted by your guy Beez, where we talk about everything related to entrepreneurship with a twist of business acquisitions. And today, how's it go? West Philadelphia. Boy, now, baby.
I spend most of my day.
There you go. We got Will Smith, y'all.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, William Smith, my guy, Mr. Willpower. Hey, I love that handle, by the way. Mr. Willpower. That's power.
Yeah, you gotta have that if you're gonna do business, man.
There we go. Well, welcome to the show. Welcome to Entrepreneurship Exposed. We have Will Smith. I'm gonna say the Will Smith. It's not the Will Smith y'all might be thinking, but it is still the Will Smith himself, and he has something powerful to tell us today. And this is a topic that we have not spoken about. So I'm really excited about this, brother. But tell people a little bit more about yourself. Let's hear a little bit about how you got to where you are today.
All right, my name is the Will Smith. I'm the founder of Fed Legacy, man. Just is a financial literacy firm that focuses on federal employees and military, man. And since I was a kid, I was always focused on how do we as Black people make more money. And it just for me, it became exaggerated when I was in college. I went to the University of Maryland at College Park. And up until then, I'd always went to Black schools, like just Black neighborhood schools. Yeah. And when I went to College Park, it was just a bunch of different races, right? And so when I went there, I got exposed to like what wealth really was. And at the same time, my parents were going through a foreclosure, right? And so I'm around all this quote unquote white money, and then at the same time I'm dealing with the financial situation within my family that was traumatic. And the conversation I had with my dad was like, "Yo, Dad, how did we end up here?" Because I thought we was a lot better off than where we were, because around my Black friends, it seemed as if my parents had it all together, right? They had the nice house, the cars, and everything. But then we went through this foreclosure, right? And then my dad said to me straight up, he was like, "Well, I mean, I wanted to provide the best for you and your brother, but I really didn't understand money like that." And it just caught up to me, right? And so, and it was an honest conversation. He wanted to put me in a better life than when he was raised in Baltimore City, in the projects. So he did the best he could, and he got himself into a jam, and he was just in that jam. And so to me, I was like, all right, this is a sincere guy, and I want to make sure that this doesn't happen within my family ever, right? And I wanted to change that. And so, growing up in the DMV, a lot of people, and people don't know what the DMV is. That's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. There's a huge federal employee. There's a bunch of federal employees in that area, right? The wealth in that area comes from the federal government, and so a lot of my friends' parents were federal employees as well. And a lot of these people are living paycheck to paycheck, but it looks like they got money, right? And so for me, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take everything I'm learning in college, all the things that I'm learning from the books I'm reading at the time, and I'm gonna apply this to this specific industry, right? And this particular market, pardon me. And so I did that. And the federal market not only is in DC, but it's all over the country. And so once we did that, it became a very lucrative business.
Nice. Yeah. Now, so you focused on, well, first of all, your story is awesome, right? Because that's anybody, right? Yeah. Things could be going great as an entrepreneur. Yeah. Things could be going great, and then all of a sudden, something goes terrible, and you got to pivot. And how do you weather the storm, right? Yeah. I think the benefit of being an entrepreneur is at least you start learning how to make money. Yeah, always know how to keep it properly. Yeah. But we learn ways of making money, so we don't stress as much when we go through those situations. Yeah. Whereas if you're in your 9-to-5 alone and something goes wrong, it's like, oh my God, how am I going to pay my mortgage, and how am I going to do this? because we don't have other streams of revenue coming in.
Bro, the greatest gift, I remember and I tried many things before I really niched down into this business, but.
Hey guys, okay, before we get to the episode, I just had to take a moment to say thank you to everybody that's been supporting Entrepreneurship Exposed. Your guy Beez here, and just having a great time having these conversations, showing you every aspect of entrepreneurship, because there's a lot of things out there that are, seems like all the glitz and the glam, everything looks good, but we want to make sure that you see some of the obstacles, not things that will stop you, but just things that you need to know before you dive into this world of entrepreneurship. If you like this content, you like these videos, please just do me a favor and just make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you click the like button, comment on it, just tell me what you feel about each topic so I'll know how to adjust for other topics and have other guests on. And make sure that you hit the notification bell, because YouTube's kind of weird like that, and if you don't have that notification bell, even if you're subscribed to me, you won't see a lot of my content. All right, so if you would like to support us, that would be the best way. Thank you so much. Now back to the episode.
I just remember one time I was broke as a joke, man. I was living in New York, and this lady sent me a $3,000 check, and it just from an idea I had, like, okay, this could work as a business. And this lady FedExed me a $3,000 check, and I just remember, I'm like, yo, like, I know how to create money. I'll never be. It just hit me. I'm like, I will never be broke because I know how to make money, and that belief system I just always been with me. I know how to create money, man.
That's critical. Yeah. Now, you're talking about other ways of creating wealth. Are you familiar with mergers and acquisitions and how that could really help you to create?
Yeah, I'm definitely familiar with. I'm beginning to design my company for that. Like we're building all types of systems within our company that's just taking me as a CEO out of the day-to-day operation.
There you go.
And so yeah, I'm familiar with it. Am I an expert on it? No, but I'm definitely familiar with it, and that's definitely the vision for our company and how we're building it now.
Okay, tell me more about your company.
So the name of our company again is Fed Legacy. We started out as a financial literacy firm. Now we're going over into a wealth management firm. So I said financial literacy earlier, but now we're transitioning into a wealth management firm where we're bringing those aspects into the company. Again, we focus on federal employees. Right now, we have 9 employees now. Mm-hmm. And we've been adding. Our growth has been going pretty well over the last year or so. Mm-hmm. And so we have 4 advisors and 5 admin within our company. And so what we do is federal agencies bring us in. We come in, we teach the retirement sessions for their employees. Not only do agencies bring us in, but organizations that surround the government, like the unions, there's all types of auxiliary groups that bring us in. We talk, like this last week, we were at a group called Federal Employee Women, which is a women's organization within the government, a couple thousand members. I spoke there, my team was there. And so we generate business at events like that. We also do webinars. So I'm doing a webinar Wednesday night for our audience. And so, yeah, that's what we do. And what we sell is we do a lot of life insurance. We do a supplemental life insurance policy for federal employees. And what's cool about the federal market is it's the biggest employer in the country. Yeah. Right. So there's federal employees everywhere. And what we do is beneficial to all of them. Right. And so that's what we do. So we help with life insurance. And then we also help with the TSP, which is the Thrift Savings, which is the retirement system that all the retirement 401k that all federal employees and military have.
Are you familiar with infinite banking strategies within life insurance?
Yeah, very familiar with it. Very familiar.
Oh, that's a powerful tool because so I have this community that I built of other investors, people learning how to do mergers and acquisitions and then partnering and doing deals together. And one of our coaches, Asani, he is a infinite banking specialist, right?
Oh, nice.
So he not only has he worked out ways that we could use infinite banking in our acquisitions and how we structure the deal for the seller by offering them protection of their money within, IULs that are set up in an infinite banking strategy. But, he's also gone deeper into it. And just as a wealth management, wealth creation, wealth preservation vehicle to use. And I think it's an extremely powerful thing for sure. And I've learned that, the ultra wealthy, you may see a CEO take a $1 salary, but they got a $10 million insurance policy.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Because it won't be taxed. They could borrow against it without being taxed. So I think
one of my homeboys or colleagues in the industry, man, he did a policy like that for Charles Woodson. But it's similar to the policy that John, like even when the University of Michigan hired John Harbaugh, his salary was in a life insurance policy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And so like my homeboy sold Charles Woodson one just like that. So I mean, it's
funny you mentioned that case study. We used that case study with University of Michigan because it's something, I can't remember the exact detail, but it's something like premium financing insurance.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah, that's what it's called.
The bank covers it.
Yeah, that's what it's called. Yeah,
that's awesome. We're gonna have to have a separate conversation. I'll tell you what we're doing with that. How we get a large acquisition and use that vehicle, but we'll talk about that another time.
For sure.
So explain though, because we mentioned insurance policies that your company offers, but what is that? Explain that to the audience.
What part? What the life insurance is?
No, TSP. The TSP part.
Okay. So TSP stands for Thrift Savings Plan, right? It's the biggest 401k. Is the biggest 401k system in the country, right? Again, because the federal market is the biggest biggest employer in the country, right? And so it's the 401k for federal employees. And so what it is federal employees are allowed to get up to 5% match on their TSP. Again, so any dollar they put in, they match 5%. Then this year, as of 2023, they're able to put up to the $30,000 inside of the TSP, right? If they're 50 and above, if they're 49 and below, they're able to put in 22,500, right? And so what it is what you need. If you're a federal employee, what you want to do is you want to make sure you're putting as much as you can towards that TSP, so that when you retire, you have lifestyle, right? And so a lot of times people will talk about retirement, they're like, you just want to be able to retire and have some money, or just enough money to be able to retire. I don't talk to our clients like that. I'm like, look, you want to be able to have enough money to live the ideal lifestyle in retirement. And the more you have in your TSP, the more options you have to do things, right? And I'm sure we can go into how, and one of the main things you could do is start businesses. And that's one of the things that I teach our clients as well.
So, of course, I'm going to say not to start one. I'm going to say acquire one, right?
Yeah. That's real too.
Because if you acquire a business, obviously you get that head start, right? You get that. It comes with cash flow. It comes with employees. It comes with a process already established. It comes with, history. So you could get funding against it, tax returns, bank statements, customers. Everything comes with it and gives you that head start. So I like this because I remember when I left Microsoft, I cashed out on my 401k, right? And everybody was like, don't do that. Oh my God, you need your 401k. I've made thousands of times more now, or since then, than what was in my 401k, right? So do you recommend, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not telling everybody
that's great, though.
They cash it out, but we got to break the mold a little bit sometimes and really think like this country set up in a certain way. The world is set up in a certain way, and the system is set to not have everybody winning at the top, right? So if you want to win a little bit more, you got to break the mold and know when to change things that suit you, but you got to be strategic with it. I'm not telling everybody to run in, cash out their 401k and go buy a new Lamborghini. I'm saying use it to acquire a business or to something that's going to cash flow and produce revenue for you. Do you agree with that?
I agree with it because I've seen it work, right? I've seen it work. The thing is like not everybody might not know how to do that, right? Because that's one thing our firm does. Like, and that's why I'm interested to talk to you more about it, because one of the things we definitely do believe in is making sure you get to TSP Millionaire status, which is almost like a gold sticker or gold star, you should say, for federal employees. It's like you get to that millionaire status, and that's something that we put all of our clients on the pathway towards that. Now, what they do after that, as far as whether I say start a business, because that's what we've been saying, but I love what you're saying around acquire it, because one of the things that I always tell my federal employees, especially the ones that are executive level, I'm like, you have a lot of skills, right? You have a lot of skill sets. You've managed people, you're in a particular niche, whether you're in healthcare, whether you're in veterans affairs, I mean, all types of labor stuff. They all have different niches. And so acquiring a business could definitely work. It's not something we talk about, but I would love to talk more about it. Oh, well, because they have the cash.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Here go the funny thing. Bro. And I know I mentioned this to you in a previous conversation, but the traditional way of acquiring a business is just like how you get real estate. Yeah. So you're going to go to a bank and you're going to get an SBA 7A loan because that's the specific one for business acquisitions, right? Yeah. And the SBA 7A loan, the SBA going to cover up to, 80, 90%. Some cases it may cover 100%. And then, the seller comes with, or the buyer, the person that's getting the loan is going to come with, 10%, maybe 20%, sometimes 0%, right? It's cool and all, but there's a leveraged buyout strategies that you can actually use to acquire a business with no money out your pocket.
See, bro, I'm gonna have you on my podcast, on my stuff, man, because we got a group. Nah, seriously, man, because we got a group of people that have multi-millions in their TSP, and they need to have these type of conversations.
They need to have
But
here goes the next level.
Yeah.
So a lot of people, they retiring and they're gonna be like, yeah, but I don't want to start or acquire a business.
That's
I don't want to work no more, and I'm done. I don't want to be part.
That's true.
But here goes the first mindset shift that we got to make. Well, there's two. The first one is 25% of a watermelon is better than 100% of a grape, right? Now, imagine I meet Will Smith, and Will Smith knows how to handle something in the medical industry because he's familiar with the VA and he's familiar with XYZ. And then I find a company that I'm going to acquire, and Will Smith wants to work in it. He would love to run it and have equity in it, whereas I don't want to run it. I don't want to be the CEO, but that's Will Smith's specialty. And then I say, hey, I will give you 20% where you can either you buy 20% or I give it to you and invest over time, right? So that makes sure that you stay with me for at least 5 years where 4% each year is vesting. Yeah. Now, most people will be like, yeah, but you're giving him equity. Don't give him equity. I'm 100% fine with that because now I'm operating, and this is the second mindset shift, I'm operating as the investor instead of just the business owner or the CEO, right? When you're a CEO, you're working on the business and you steer the direction of the business, but it's still a job.
Yeah.
When you're the investor and you can walk into an acquisition that's already a cash flowing business and it has revenue to pay for a CEO, and you can sit back and operate as an investor where I'm not in the day-to-day. Maybe I'm attending quarterly earnings reports, monthly earnings reports, and that type of stuff.
Right.
That's still doable for a retiree.
Absolutely, right? It is. Absolutely, it is. So this is a great conversation. This is a great conversation and opportunity that can definitely shift like some upper middle class wealth too. Because this is the stuff that, the upper middle class, especially our community, don't know. But they have the resources, but they just don't know. Yeah. And so this is a great conversation, man.
No, you're right, brother. I mean, I always mention that Jay-Z didn't become a billionaire because of his music.
Nah, not at all.
His music made him some money, just like how the TSP can make federal employees some money.
Yeah.
And then he took that and said, okay, let me start acquiring stuff and let me get pieces of things. Oh, he bought 20% stake in this vodka, 40% stake in this club, whatever it may be, which then carried him to a level of AUM, assets under management. And that's
exactly
billionaire status. So that same strategy, we could all do it.
Yep.
Okay, so I like it.
Yeah, you're right.
Put as much in your TSP as possible. If you're continuing, you love your career, you want to stay in the federal space, or you're in military or something, you put as much in TSP as possible.
Yeah.
But then what do you do with those funds? Take it and use it to acquire more revenue generating assets.
Yep. And like I said, I've seen that work too, man. I've seen it work where people started with their kids and then it just blow up. Like I have a couple of clients who are now multi-millionaires because they invested with their kids. Their kids' idea, but they had the money and the collateral in the house and all that type of stuff. And now they're multi-millionaires, man, because they took that seed, and it wasn't even a whole lot of money, but they took that seed, that idea, and now, I mean, you know, they live in a good life, man.
And I believe it needs a shift of getting away from the instant gratification. Yeah, because it's like, I'm gonna take out that TSP money and I'm gonna have some fun. But it's like, nah, let me just take it and put it towards something that's going to generate revenue and continue it down the line. And I may not be able to take money out of it for another few years because it's building up even more, but at least it's growing instead of, you know, depleting.
Yeah. So. And then once you do that and you get this, you know, once you start the process of getting those businesses, you can then take as many vacations as you want at that point.
That's what it's all about.
That's what it's about, man. Lifestyle, man.
Let's go. Now, I know you also have like a digital business, like focused on digital overall.
Yeah. So that's how we really blew our business up. We blew our business up, blew it up in a good way, right? For those, was because in the federal space, a lot of stuff was in person. Older guys were running this industry that I'm in, man. Older, you know, guys made a lot of money in it, but they were just doing a lot of face-to-face, doing it the old way. And so, what was it? About 2018, I started to see, and I was a young business in the space, but I started to see like, okay, these people are teleworking, right? And I'm like, if people are teleworking and they're not coming into work and they're on their phones when I'm talking to them, I'm like, I need to be on their phone. I need to not be here in front of these people. I need to be on that phone. Yeah. And so we started to shift. I started to invest a lot of my education, got educated on how to build a digital marketing business. Took everything that I was teaching them, put it into courses, put it into emails, put it in everything that's, you know, digital. And so we did that in 2018. And at that point, like I said, I was going face-to-face meeting with people, face-to-face seminars. And, you know, we did well there. And then COVID hit in 2020 and everything was virtual. But for us, we already had the framework, but the industry still needed education. And so agencies were reaching out to us like, hey, we heard you do these seminars. And we're like, yeah, we doing. And so we already had the email list. We had everything. And so all we knew how to run their point. So COVID just really benefited our business because we were already prepared. And so stay
prepared. Stay prepared. You know, stay ready. You don't gotta get ready.
Exactly.
I love it. So the way that, and this is another mindset shift, I think, that people don't realize. It makes sense. It's common sense once you think about it, but most people don't think about it up front. The way that when people talk about scaling their business, usually, especially once you get a little bit of education on it, it's like, okay, process, systems, and people. It's the primary way to scale your business, right? You have to have those things in order to scale your business.
Exactly.
However, the way that the wealthy and the large corporations scale their business is through acquiring another one that they then roll up into their existing one, and now they're immediately a larger company.
Bro, right? Absolutely. Now I got a mentor, man, and I met him 12 years ago. He sold his company for $3 billion, man. And it was a landscaping company. But when we first met, he was just like, yeah, man, I did this through what you talking about. He was like, I did a whole bunch of acquisitions. I acquired a whole bunch of little smaller landscaping companies. He bought it through KKR. I think it is. Yeah. And so like, he was like, he used them as his private equity. I think they're private equity company. Private equity. Yeah, and he used them.
One of the founders of KKR is he's kind of like the godfather of LBOs, leverage buyouts.
Oh, he is? Okay, yeah. Well, that's what he was just like, yo. He was like, well, this is how I do it. I bought a bunch of these little companies, then he sold it. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, I didn't understand it. I'm still gaining some understanding. So I'm saying that to say, you're right about this is how the wealthy do it, because this guy's extremely wealthy. You know, and
well then, so Will.
Yeah.
The team is ready because we have a gift for you, bro.
Oh, that's what's up, man.
Team, let's get that first gift up for Will if we have it ready. It may take a quick second to do so, but if so, let's pop that up and show Will what his first gift is. Let's see what happens. Man, they taking their time.
It's a Monday, man. It's a Monday.
It's a Monday.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, they're gonna get it up in a second. As soon as it pops up, we'll jump into explore. Oh, there you go, the first one. Okay. So, an accounting firm that we found for you. It's in Maryland.
Okay.
It is asking 1.75 million. Let's put that up a little bit bigger, team, so we can see it a little bit bigger. There we go. Asking 1.7, grossing 1.4, established in 1984, keeping 334,000 a year. This is not my favorite in terms of the numbers, but because, we were looking in your area and looking for things that's related to what I know you do, I thought this one might interest you, because imagine now you don't build out the accounting department of your company, you just acquire an accounting firm and roll it into your company, right? And since you're helping with wealth management, accounting is definitely important to help with that. Yeah. What do you think about this? You think this is something that would interest you?
I mean, I'm definitely open to this conversation, or a firm similar to this.
Similar. Okay. Well, let's throw up that second gift then. There we go. Let's see. All right, look at this one. Highly profitable marketing and promotion business. So we talk about marketing, we talk about digital marketing, we talking about all of that. Yeah. What if you acquired one that's asking 1.3? See, these numbers look a little bit better. Asking 1.3, and they keeping 728 each year, 728,000 a year. I don't know what the gross revenue is on this one, but this one, they were missing a little bit of the other information until we request the CIM, CIM, which stands for Confidential Information Memorandum. That's what the brokers and sellers will give you after you say, hey, I want to know more about this. You sign an NDA, and then they give you that information, right? So this one doesn't have enough information for me just yet, but I did love the amount of cash flow that they're keeping. And the location is also in Maryland. And the asking price is even lower than the one prior, and you're keeping more than this. I need to know how much employees are in it, because I'm not trying to give you a job. I'm trying to give you a cash flowing asset that you can operate as the investor.
So that's what you do. Like, you help people learn how to, because again, I wouldn't know the first thing to do here, right?
Of course. No, of course.
So, but like, that's cool, man.
So this is a gift to you, and we would give it to you. And if you wanted to go on your own and just try to contact them, you're good to go. But if you do want my help, yes, we do help. So we help in two ways. I have a company called BBI where we teach how to do this, right? And I always believe in teaching a man to fish rather than fishing for them. But we also have Capital Beez, where we do it for you too, as a service. Obviously, it's more costly for you to have us do all the work for you, but that is an option as well. So we can talk more about it, but this is our gift to you because of what you are already doing. I figured that these might be some, and to be honest, we can find way better than this.
Right.
The key right now is that if you focus on motivated sellers of their business, my favorite motivated seller is baby boomers who are retiring. And they've been running a business for 20, 30, 40, 50 or more years. But now, when they try to retire, the kids and the grandkids don't want it.
Right.
The world is changing. Back in the day, it was like, it's a family business. We're passing it to the family. Now the kids don't want it. Right. So what's ending up happening is all these baby boomers, 12.5 million of them in the US that have businesses, are all retiring this decade. And if they retire and got nobody to run their business and they're tired of running it, they've been running it for 40, 50 years, we can swoop in and take them, especially if we use leverage buyout techniques.
Wow. Yeah, I'd love to talk more about that, for sure.
All right. So now going back to the TSP, because this is a critical pivot for people who are in the federal government and the military, is you fund your TSP as much as possible. If that's your path, you staying in your 9 to 5, your career, fund your TSP as much as possible. Do the matching, because if they gonna match a certain amount, you should at least be contributing to the amount.
Take that free money.
Take that free money. Then when it's time to retire, you take that money and use it to acquire assets that's gonna produce revenue for you without you having to work in it. You still retire.
Absolutely, man.
Absolutely,
man.
So I want to sum that up in our pop, right? We got to pop what it really means to be a TSP millionaire, right? So I want you to tell us the top pro of doing this strategy, funding your TSP, and then using it to acquire asset, your opportunities that exist. Maybe there's something going on in the federal government that we don't know about right now. Why you need to be if you're not already contributing to your TSP, you need to do it right away. Yeah. And then lastly, the most important part is the problems. What are the problems that exist that we got to look out for and navigate around? Sure.
So with P, which is the pros, right? So the pros is if you fund your TSP and become a TSP millionaire, you don't ever have to come back to work. 2, you don't have to stress about healthcare, because long-term care costs in retirement is the scariest thing around, right? I mean, the last study that came out said the average person is going to spend $250,000 in healthcare costs in retirement, right? So the pro is if you do that, you don't have to worry about that monster that's a lot of people are afraid of, right? So that's, and then you create lifestyle. Now that's the pro, right? The opportunity, I'm gonna tie that to business, right? Is one of my clients, he retired to 53, right? Which is pretty early in the federal space, very early actually in the federal space. But he was able to retire because his daughter, who's a good friend of mine, started a preschool business, right? And she started the preschool business. She has now since scaled that preschool business to 4 locations. She now has 2 gyms under her, all assets under management, like you was talking about.
There you go, AUM.
Yeah, they got 4 preschools, 2 gyms, big gyms like boxing gyms, and I think they got one other thing. He bought a bunch of real estate down in Birmingham, Alabama. It's a bunch of commercial real estate properties. But all that happened because he had money in his TSP. He believes in his daughter, invested in his daughter. And now, I mean, they're worth a bunch of M's, you know what I'm saying? And they have lifestyle. I remember sitting in the house when we were going over their retirement numbers, and the mom was like skeptical. She's like, I don't know if this is true. And I'm like, and we have a system where we, run all your retirement numbers. And he forgot a dividend payment that they were getting. And the dividend payment at that time was like $7,000 a month, right? Just in the dividend payment from one of the investments he made with his daughter. And I was like, y'all straight, you know what I'm saying? And I showed her, cause that's on top of everything else. And so then, and the dividend payment, $7,000 a month, but that's a big deal to somebody and that was just one of the dividend payments, but I just one that they forgot. Along with all the other retirement stuff.
That's one they forgot. Yeah, I forgot I got this $7,000 a month coming in.
Yeah, and that's not including that. That's not including their pension. That's not including their Social Security. That's not including the TSP money they got. This was an additional payment because of the business, right? And so I looked at the mom, and she was just a skeptic, right? I looked at her, and she looked at the screen and looked at the projections, and she was like, "Oh, I'm retiring tomorrow," right? Legit. And now, I mean, she travel every other week. I'm on Facebook. She's somewhere, you know what I'm saying? And not just anywhere. She's at nice luxury locations. So that's the opportunity that exists by making sure you invest in your TSP.
Definitely. Now we got to get into the most important part is problems, things that we got to navigate around. We need to know the bad with the good, right?
Yeah. So the bad with the TSP is this: if you don't there's a fund within the TSP called the G fund. The G fund is it's people that are not in the government. It's like having your money in bonds, right? And so if you have your money, you can invest a whole lot of money, but if you got it sitting in bonds because you're afraid of the market, inflation is going to crush you, right? And so you got to be cognizant of how you have your money invested, and you can't be afraid of the market. Like last year, the market went down 20-something% in certain cases. That's okay because the market now is back at 16, right? And so if you were the type of person who when the market's down, it's like, let's say, for example, you had $1 million in your TSP, right? You lose 20%. Now you're down to 800,000. And so you get scared and you move your money into bonds. And now you down at this 1,800. You basically locked yourself in the basement because now you stuck at 800,000. So when the market bounced back, the bonds aren't going to go nowhere. So you stuck at that 800 where the people that, kept it pretty, I'm not going to say aggressive, but people kept their money in the market. Now they back up and you still not locked in the basement. And so you want to avoid being too conservative with the way you invest.
And I love that you brought that up, because that is a common misconception that the non-wealthy, that's what I'm going to say, the non-wealthy have, right?
Yeah.
And it's partially media. Media is telling us, like, oh my God, the markets are dropping and blah, blah, blah. It's the best time to take your money out. And then the non-wealthy are going and be like, oh, let me take my money out. Yeah. And then the wealthy are like, ooh, everything's on discount right now.
Everything on sale. Yeah.
They got a sale. They got a BOGO going on.
Yeah. And then an opportunity for acquisition, because these businesses now, are afraid of people trying to get out. So you buy the business on sale. Going back to what you're talking about.
Exactly. It motivated sellers. There's a guy, I always get his name wrong, Shinsaku Sagami, I think it is. Yeah. He's the youngest billionaire in Japan. Yeah. And he became a billionaire because he saw that 99% of businesses in Japan are small businesses. 2/3 of that 99% are run by aging executives who are ready to retire and they don't have any succession plan.
Wow.
So he created a platform to connect people like me who acquire those businesses to those people who need someone to take it over because they have no successors.
Yeah.
And that is an AI-driven platform, but it just goes to show how insane the opportunity is. It's the greatest wealth transfer in history is happening this next decade, I think.
Bro, you teaching good stuff, man.
Thank you.
You're teaching good stuff. Yeah. Yeah. I'm getting them A to B. You taking them to C and beyond, man, which I love.
Because I've been trying to take myself to C and beyond, and I had to.
Nah, that's real. Me too.
Had to learn.
That's real too. That's real, man.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's next level thinking for sure.
Let's go.
Yeah.
All right, my brother. Well, I love this. So I got a challenge going on, and I think you're perfect for this challenge. This ain't Instagram Tide Pods challenge or nothing like that. This is a real challenge. It's called the $1 Trillion Table Challenge.
Okay.
The $1 Trillion Table Challenge. By the end of this decade, I want to sit in a room at a table with people that look like us, that are investors, and we have $1 trillion assets under management, AUM.
Yeah.
This doesn't mean $1 trillion cash in our pockets. It means that we're controlling portfolios of businesses, portfolios of real estate, portfolios in the financial markets, all totaling up to $1 trillion combined between all of us. Yeah. Will you be at that table with me?
I will, man.
There we go. There we go. I love it, man. I love it. So, I heard it here first. Will Smith has committed. Has declared stamp of approval. He will be at the $1 trillion table for the $1 trillion table challenge. I love
absolutely, man. I love that you have that challenge, man. That's a beautiful challenge.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, we gotta, and some people hear it and they're like, $1 trillion? Are you crazy? That's insane. It's not insane.
It's not, especially the way you talking about doing it.
Oh yeah. I can tell you right now that by the end of this decade, I will be at $1 billion assets under management. So if I can do that, I can get other people doing it too.
Especially because our culture drives this stuff anyway, man. So you know what I mean? So like, it's beautiful. I love that, man.
Let's go.
I love it.
Well, tell the people, William, I would love to continue this conversation, but you and I got a lot to talk about offline.
Yeah, absolutely.
Tell everybody how's the best way to connect with you, reach with you, and maybe tap into your services.
Yeah. So if you're a federal employee, you can just go to fedlegacycall.com. And what that is that's a link to schedule with my team, and we'll go over your retirement assets. We'll make sure you're on the right path. Make sure you just can retire with lifestyle, right? So you can have the opportunity to acquire wealth and businesses when you retire, right? So that's if you're a federal employee, go to fedlegacytalk.com. If you're just somebody that is a federal employee, you might not want to talk right now. You could just go to Fed Legacy Facebook. Go to Facebook. Go to Fed Legacy. Put Fed Legacy in. Our Facebook group will come up. We have a couple thousand members in there. Join that. By joining that group, you also get access to our email list. But we're really active on that. So just do those two things, and you'll be good to go.
Nice. And Instagram is Mr. Willpower?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Instagram is Mr. Willpower.
All right. Yeah. Love it. Y'all heard it here first. We'll drop that down in the description for everybody to be able to connect with the Will Smith and be able to become a TSP millionaire and join me and Will at the $1 trillion table at the end of this decade. Let's go. Will, brother, it's a pleasure having you on here, man. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, bro. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you. And y'all already know what to do. Y'all gotta like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell and check out all podcast platforms and check us here at YouTube. You don't want to miss these type of conversations, right? Whether you in your 9 to 5, whether you're a full-time entrepreneur, whether you've acquired businesses before, whether you never heard about acquiring businesses, whether you don't know what the hell a TSP is, like I didn't until Will just laid it out for me. Y'all gotta pay attention and don't miss these conversations with people like Will Smith and many others. I will see y'all on the next episode of Entrepreneurship Exposed. Let's go. Thanks, Will. Appreciate you.
Appreciate you, bro.
All right.